The girl that was keeping me up to date.
Right. She was that's basically all it was. She was just keeping me up to date, telling me what was going on in Joburg and the KwaZulu Natal region. She says where a lot of Indians live, and right now, the big thing in that area is like Indians are basically warring with the Zulu, who are warring with the colors that live there. It is complicated, and
What?
yeah,
Wow.
it is complicated, confusing, and it is just crazy. But
That's ridiculous.
I've read the Indians. They also have like a powerful, stronghold in South Africa, like in governments, economics, and whatnot.
I think in that southeast region, there's a city down there. I gotta bring up a map of South Africa, but there's a city down there that is you will find the majority of the Indian population.
Huh.
Yeah,
I saw
something.
I saw a few Indians in Sudan and some Asians too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Indians, they putting in work on blacks in South Africa. It's two in particular. There's actually more. It's Pravin is one, but two in particular are the Gupta brothers. If you just Google them, they actually stole $1 billion something from.
Wow.
It's pretty egregious, but yeah, and then so they stole $1 billion plus. Then they just fled the country.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the Indians putting in work. Yeah, it's
That's I guess to be expected. That's crazy, bro. You could just go to a foreign country, make billions, and then dip. Like,
But imagine how many times that's happened in Africa. Like generally, like it's
oh
probably
yeah,
happened so many times.
it's an epidemic.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to make ironically one of the it's the dark continent. It's full of danger.
Africa's the spot. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
especially
spot.
probably, especially probably like at the turn of the 20th century. I mean, imagine how like all Cecil Rhodes and all those guys.
Yeah. If Africa ceased to exist, if the continent just vanished, the American economy would flatline. There would be no coltan to power these electronics, and we'd all enter a stage of death.
I think that's why they also targeted Gaddafi so hardly because his idea for the currency of Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
if it would have came to fruition, I mean, imagine what would happen to all the economies of China, Europe, and America. I mean, I feel like they would have bankrupt. I feel like they would have gone bankrupt.
They would have.
Uh, Triad might have a different opinion, but you know,
There are very few self-sustaining economies. America is not well in
America,
regards to electronics. America is not
America
self.
is fairly self-sustaining. I think the big thing to be a self-sustaining economy, you need to make enough food to feed your population. Because if you can't
Yeah,
feed everybody, then everybody dies.
yeah.
And there's only really four countries on the planet that do that: New Zealand, America, Argentina, and the fourth always escapes me. But those are like your big breadbasket countries.
That's true. As far as the breadbasket is concerned, they could feed their population. But to remain a superpower, you need Africa. That's why everybody's
yeah,
focused.
true.
Hmm. I think
China doesn't fall on that list.
no, China does not feed itself.
Nah,
China's population is
nah.
I'm surprised.
1.45
I'm
billion,
surprised.
and
China,
a lot of their agriculture is they undermined a lot of their agriculture. Let's just say that their biggest
yeah,
farming region is the Sichuan province. That's where like, most of their food comes from.
they've had recurring cannibalism is kind of like an
Damn.
epidemic in China. They've had recurring famines and people would eat each other a lot.
What the
Yeah,
fuck? That's
yeah. No,
crazy.
there's the
yeah, they got.
tradition.
I mean, they got 1 billion people. It's really not easy to feed a
Yeah,
billion people.
Really. So that's
Let
wild.
alone govern them. You gotta feed these motherfuckers. Oh man.
Actually, since we got you here, Shoma, I want to hear your opinion. Where do you think South Africa is going to head in the next 25 years, next quarter century?
Unless black folks come together in South Africa, all that's gonna happen is you're gonna have the whites, the Indians, and maybe the coloreds on one side, black coons with them versus black. That's pretty much how I see it coming.
Yeah,
But
that's probably a good spot.
So you see it as you think the coloreds, the whites, and the Indians are going to band together and try to basically genocide the Africans before Africans can do anything.
well, genocide, I don't know. More so, they're going to solidify their control on that nation. But if they do that, I also see that turning into a war. It's so it's like it's either the blacks come together and they take back the nation and they fix it, or it's going to be the non-blacks coming together, forming this quote unquote thing in order to take down the blacks, which you already see now with like these Indians and the Boers teaming up to shoot black people when they're like, going in these stores, taking all this taking all this stuff during the riots right now. We got Indians and Boers sticking together. All they need to do is be like, hey, we need to form a formal alliance, right?
Mm.
Right.
That's all that needs to happen, and then I would say blacks are probably done because they can't get it together.
Why is
I
that?
think that
Why is that? Why do you think blacks can't get it together?
I think we
Unity
just
is
have
something like, oh my bad.
no. You good? I was gonna say we have too many coons. It's like if you see someone stealing some shit, you're like, damn, from Walmart. Like if someone steal an apple from Walmart when you're in the self checkout line, and you see someone do it, you might be more inclined to do it because you're like, damn, they just got away with that. That's what's going on with black folks. We got coons where when people who aren't coons see it, they're like, wow, so this coon was able to do this. I might as well do the same thing. And then it just leads to like a whole thing
yeah,
where people cheating each other out of basic things. Like,
Mm.
they put sand in the crushed goosey. Or they
that's
put stupid shit like that.
that's that's
I'd s-
epidemic in China too.
I'd say the idea of unity has become unattractive to us, or that at least we haven't even tried it. Like I feel like unity, like complete unity, is something we haven't even tried, not just in South Africa but in America too.
Okay. I think I disagree though. In America, I do think that we did try unity, and to an extent, black unity did work in America.
It was subverted.
It was subverted. I mean, it's basically what I've been on record saying that a couple of times. I think a big they don't not only do they not want black people united, but they don't want other people in America to unite with black people, because black people would unite more than just black people. They would unite a large portion of the country. So
Mhm.
it'd be easier to let black people try to unite each other and other people, and then to subvert the movement itself.
And it's kind of like where kind of to touch on what Show said was where we have our coons because it's subverted through numerous means. One, they use coons like Al Sharpton
I was just
and
about
a
to
slew
say
of
it
other
too.
blacks. Yeah,
I
to
hate
to
that,
some.
man. I hate
That's why
that.
it's a very hard thing. Like the leadership is something we have to like account for with whoever's going to lead this, or whatever august body is going to lead this unity. Like they have to be accounted on and all this stuff like that, because they could very likely they will we will it will be subverted, as Stun was saying.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
true.
big thing. Why try to stop the movement rather than just subvert it and change what it means? Like BLM is a big one.
Hmm.
That is not pro Black lives in the slightest. They
It didn't even start like that too, which is crazy to me. It didn't even start like that.
I think that they're actually anti-black people at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they do everything against, like everything that's not for black people.
Exactly. So I
But I
think
do think. Oh my bad.
no, go on, go on.
Well,
I was gonna say, but I do think the EFF is gonna end up like if there is some kind of revolution, it's probably gonna be off the backs of like the EFF or some probably the EFF. Just
the
mainly
EFF is like the strongest organized force, like in the South Africa. Yeah, definitely they are.
yeah, yeah.
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 I've been watching their politics since like maybe 2014 ish,
Wow.
and
Could you educate
They
me
bring
on
in
the
prisons,
EFF?
would you
economic
say?
freedom fighters.
Okay. What are they?
They're a Pan Africanist. Okay, so the best I'll just say what they say. They're essentially a Pan Africanist socialist Marxist party.
Mm, okay.
So yeah, that's like the basic thing.
And they're based in
Um,
South Africa.
yeah, they're
And
basically
they're very very large in numbers, very large in numbers.
So they started. They probably were officially ratified the party. It's like a legit political party. So they vote to get seats in parliament. So they
Yeah.
probably started around maybe, from what I understand, 2013, 2014 is when they officially got on the ballot or something. So
Oh,
since then, they've been able to capture upwards of 20% of the electorate
that's
since
huge.
2013, 2014. So they're
So
actually,
they're
people are afraid.
organized and whatnot.
Yeah. So, so when I'm studying revolutionary black parties, I'm like, I don't understand why niggas ain't studying the EFF. I'm like, how the
Mhm.
hell, in 6 years, they got 20% of the electorate? I'm like, wow, whatever they're doing, we need to replicate that
Yeah,
because
for
that
sure.
is like, that's the way to go.
That's huge.
You know, if you're trying to go the quote unquote political route, which there's a lot more to the EFF than that political thing, it is really hard to explain in like 30 seconds. But yeah, that's like a
And,
basic rundown.
and they do have a strong leader, Julius Malema. I will say that too.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Heard
They
that
do.
he's like a shill for China. Is that true? I don't believe.
Nah, who said
It
that?
doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Yeah, he called out the Chinese all the. I've seen him call out the Chinese almost just as much as the white man. He calls out the Chinese, the Indians. Like Malema is on camera saying Indians are racist in this country. They're
Okay.
inherently racist. White people are inherently racist. Like all that shit. He's
Mhm.
like the Chinese come here, they being racist. They trying to, they're trying to buy out politicians. He's pretty forthcoming with it. But I think what he also understands is that, I mean, China is China. It's kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say you got to respect it, but on some level, you got to recognize that they were up under the white man, and for the most part, they are not up under the white man in that same capacity right now. So I think he just recognizes that,
See,
and he'll acknowledge that, like, hey, well, China's doing something different than the West. Why can't we do something different?
Right.
I like his take on the Boers. The Boers have that man's. The Boers' knees are shaking when Malema speaks because he
Mhm.
knows. Yeah, he's ready to match. See, and this is where we run into some disagreement. I know, but the Boers definitely need to be checked and maintained. That all white town in South Africa should not be a thing. As,
Iranian?
yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Well, but then again, I don't also want them to be living next to other native South Africans. So it's kind of a you're screwed either way sort of thing. I just feel like they need to be deported, but you can't do it all at once.
Right.
Yeah.